We live in a world where gas prices are getting high, mortgages are becoming unaffordable, college doesn't seem like the best path for us, and all in our ear we hear older people saying, just work harder, do things better, it's not that hard, but in reality things are pretty dang hard. Look, I'm not throwing any shade towards our elders. I think it's very important to look up to people older and wiser than us, but there is something to be said about us living in a different world than they lived in. Things are more expensive. Life is more crazy. Jobs don't work the same. The housing market doesn't work the same. Money doesn't work the same as it did when they were our age. And so obviously they're going to give us some outdated advice. So today let's dive into this boomer money advice that doesn't really work anymore, and then talk through, hey, how can we live out our lives nowadays to be able to fight through that advice, number one, but also make smart financial decisions for our day and age. The first piece of boomer advice I need to talk about is to just go buy a house. This sounds really, really stupid in this day and age, but however, I've been told it multiple times about just how I need to grow up and then go out and buy a house, right? I'm not at an age currently where I should be buying a house, but the next few years I definitely will be in that prime age. And I've already heard the advice of, oh, you just have to go out and build a house, build equity. It's a great investment in your future. There's nothing that's wrong with that. And all of that information is correct. I will give them that. However, this idea of just going out and buying a house, it's completely ludicrous. Interest rates are sky high. To be able to put a good down payment down, it's about like half of a year's salary at this point for a good quality house. Now, of course, that's dependent on where you live. It's dependent on how big of a down payment you want to put down. It's dependent on a lot of different things. It depends on your income as well. But to say that you could just go out and buy a house is just completely ludicrous. Grandpa and grandma might have been able to buy one for $10,000, but for us, most places, it's going to be $300,000 to $500,000, which is crazy to say, but it's just the world we live in. But like I said, I just don't want to point out this blatantly obvious bad advice. I want to hopefully be able to give us a solution as well. And the solution is to prepare ahead. We really can't do anything about the high interest rates or the housing market. We can't control that at all, unless we're going to go into a job that actually impacts those areas, of course. But what we can do is plan ahead. Start saving as early as we possibly can. I'm talking about in our 18s, 19s, 20s, if you are that young, and making sure that we're putting our money to work. Now, I'm not saying to throw it into an investment account, especially if you need that money in 1 to 3 years, but CDs are a great option, bonds are a great option. Just throwing that into those types of things and having it grow with inflation, or at least exceeding inflation a little bit, is going to be better than letting it just sit there and doing nothing. So by doing those two things and preparing, you're going to be able to have a better opportunity of buying a house. Again, it's not easy like the boomers are saying. However, it is still good. The second piece of advice is go to college no matter what. Look, don't get me wrong, even back in the day, college was expensive, but even now today, it's even worse. Now look, I believe in college. I've gone through college, I'll get a bachelor's degree here soon, and so I don't want to just come out here and seem like I'm bashing college, because if you want a good job, going to college is a great opportunity. If you want to become like a doctor, you're going to need to go to college, you're going to need to get an education. However, this idea of just going to college no matter what is completely wrong. First off, we have a lot of different career paths now. Not only do we have trades like we used to back in the day, and not only do we have college, but we also have like a various bunch of forms of entrepreneurship. We have obviously basic entrepreneurship, starting a normal business or service, but now we have digital entrepreneurship, we have social media entrepreneurship, we have digital product entrepreneurship. There are so many other paths that you can go down, and college is just not the only option anymore. College debt is also at an all-time high, and it continues to grow. So many people are ruining their financial lives because they're going into debt for college. Again, college is great, and if you need to go into debt for college, I'm not necessarily against it. But still try to take some time, find the cheapest options, find community college for 2 years, find cheaper universities where you're not going to a massive university just for the title of it, right? Try to find a cheap version of education, thus reducing the loans that you have to take out as well. Also, while you're in college, try to find ways to get scholarships, maybe an internship that pays well, a part-time job to knock out some college debt, right? You basically just don't want to drown yourself in debt, and you also want to make sure that you're choosing a career path that's best for you, that fits your goals, your desires, your interests, what you're good at. and ultimately using that as a way to make money and not forcing yourself to do something you hate by going through college just to get into a job that you hate and just not be that great at it because you hate it, right? It's really that simple. You don't have to go to college no matter what. Next piece of money advice that we hear a lot is you aren't working hard. And this one drives me absolutely crazy, and I'm sure it drives you crazy too. We hear from older people we're not working hard enough. We hear we need to work harder, we need to put more hours in, we need to try more, we need to apply ourselves, but in reality we are. There are so many people I know that are putting in so much work, and their grandparents don't see it, their aunts and uncles don't see it, and their parents don't see it. And that really hurts for me to be able to see, because I can see what they're doing in the background, but they don't see that. And maybe this has always been a thing throughout generations, and not just our generation to the upper generation, but there really is something to be said about we are working hard. Sometimes people just don't see it. You don't need to go put in 8 hours and then tell everybody you just put in 8 hours. You shouldn't have to do that because that takes even more work and it's just a pain, right? Long story short, I feel like people from an older generation see us young kids and we have it so easy. And we do have it easy in some ways, right? And I think that's where this piece of advice comes from, and I empathize with them in that. We have cell phones. We don't usually have to worry where our next meal is coming from, especially if you're living in America or Europe, right? Like, you're gonna have food most likely. And yeah, maybe frankly we don't have to work the day we turn 13 like you had to back in the day, and we didn't work out on farms or whatever, right? Like, sure, all of those things are true, and I'm not trying to say that they aren't, but in our generation we have our own problems. We have the housing market, like I've been talking about. We have inflation going crazy. We have the need to have to be able to learn more things. Now we have AI changing our world. Like, the elders aren't gonna have to deal with that stuff, man. Every generation has something that's hard, and in our generation we have hard things. And I feel like we hear older people telling us, oh, you have it so easy, you're not working hard, like blah, 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 blah. But in reality we do have it hard, and we are working hard. It just looks different. The next piece of advice is to stay loyal to one company. Now, I'm not all about this job hopping thing and trying to change careers a bunch. Like, I'm not pro for that, but there is something to be said. There are statistical facts and statistical numbers that have shown that if you switch from company to company to company, you're going to end up making more in the long term because you can negotiate for more money more quickly. That is just a fact. There are studies about that, and it's just true. Back in the day, it was all about getting into a company, working your way up the company, and maybe becoming CEO one day. And shoot, maybe that worked back in the day, but we have so many complex roles and so many complex departments at each company that just doesn't work anymore, right? You have probably 3 sectors of a marketing sector, and then 2 sectors of an accounting sector, and then 3 sectors of a finance sector. Say all those people work at the company for their entire lives to become CEO of that business one day. It's just not going to happen because you have 10 other people you're competing against, and we live in a day and age where you might as well just hire an outside CEO type guy because he's going to do the job better, right? We don't have this staying loyal to one company. And look, that's okay. It just means we live in a different world and we play by different rules, like I've said previously in this video. And so don't listen to boomer advice about staying at one company because it's no longer the best thing to do. However, you probably still shouldn't be flipping jobs because that just sounds like a lifestyle full of chaos, but I digress. And our final piece of money advice, which I find to be the most aggravating and I'm probably about to go on a rant about, is investing is just gambling. This is the most ludicrous thing I have ever heard. However, it's so true. I see 70-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 80-year-olds all stockpiling money under a mattress with cash, and it's just like, dude, your money is probably safer in an FDIC insured bank, so I don't really know what we're doing here, but they don't understand that, and that's fine. Furthermore, investing is not gambling. Just to put it simple and just to make it clear. If you look at the S&P 500, if you look at the Dow Jones, if you look at anything, you will see that it grows steadily over time. You're not going to double your money in a year, but you might double your money in 10 years. And again, it just grows and it grows and it grows and it grows. There's some years where it might dip a lot. There's some years where it might shoot up like crazy. So it kind of looks like this gamble, but overall you will see the trend going up, and it's really never not going to do that unless the market completely crashes. And if the market completely crashes, our world is going to be in ruin anyway, so don't worry about that at all. We're going to have bigger problems on our hands than our money at that point, right? Investing is not gambling, and the solution to this, like I talked about earlier, is you need to start investing. You need to start investing early. The earlier you start investing, the more you'll have in retirement, the more you'll have to put a down payment on a house, the more you'll be able to put your kids through college, whatever that might look like. Investing is the cheat code to money, to put it simply. If you ever have hopes and aspirations to build generational wealth, that's how you're going to be able to do it. And so overall, investing is not gambling at all. It's actually a very smart financial thing to do, while gambling is completely stupid and dumb. Investing is not going to be 100% guaranteeing you returns, but it's about the closest bet you're ever going to get. And so start investing today. Start learning about investing. Get better, get better, get better, and get better over time. It's really that simple. Check out another video of mine on your screen right now if you enjoyed this one. I think you're going to love it. Peace out.